Did you call bank? I called game.
What's good, podcast world? What's good, YouTube? Back for another episode of Charging to the Game Sports Podcast. And as you can all see, all fellas are all here tonight. What's good, fellas?
What's up?
Same old shit. Different
Same
day.
old shit. Man, hey, Jay, happy to have you back, man. Where you been, man? Where you been, big guy? Where you been?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't remember. One moment, I'm back at home. Next thing Texas, and I wake up in Florida.
Good of a trip? You don't remember?
Hey, shoot, my man, GQ Smooth got the little shirt on and all of that, man. I'm sitting there,
look, man.
You know what I mean? Little black shirt, you know what I mean? Got my Murderer's Row hat on a little bit.
Got the Murderer's Row.
Oh, shit, man. But hey, thanks for everybody to tuning in. We got a great show for you guys today. If you missed last show, just a brief recap, we had a great episode. Our guest last show was great. Shout out to Justin Riley, the host of the Bama Standards sports podcast. Was it the CTS interview room? He came in and talked Alabama football, some memories. Alabama won the national championship last season, their outlook for this season. He answered some questions in the Charger to the Game group. If you guys are looking to join the group, like I said, I put it in the bottom of the description of the show. I usually try to share a lot of things that are going on in sports and things of that nature. But like I said, before we get started, guys, make sure you like the channel, subscribe, do all the comments, all the other stuff. But so much to get to today. We're going to be talking, if you've been under a rock, these guys are getting paid. And by these guys, I'm talking about these college athletes. The deed is finally done. I mean, it's not all done. You know what I mean? There's still a lot to be done, but they're taking a step in the right direction. These guys are going to be getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. So it's a step in the right direction. We'll be talking and chatting about that a lot. And then we're always, obviously was covering the NBA playoffs. A lot of people are hurt. Trae Young is out. Giannis is out. Chris Paul is going to the NBA Finals. Shout out to big CP3. And then
well deserved.
Very well deserved. And then we'll close it out with the bets. So, man. All right, fellas, shoot. Let's talk about this topic, man. Big, huge topic. These guys are now getting paid for name, image, and likeness across the collegiate level. So I'm gonna just, I was reading the article.
Midnight, July 1st, and they started deals exactly at 12:01.
Literally at 12:01. So the NCAA has temporarily approved and allowed college athletes in all three divisions to get paid for name, image, and likeness. Man, so it's like I said, and if you've been following sports lately, there's been so many deals going on. I know me and Z was talking behind the scenes. I think Derek King, QB of Miami Hurricanes, his pockets are going to be flooded with the dough, and rightfully so, man. So you want to chime in a little bit about that, Z? I know you was bringing it up to me earlier.
Yeah. So, the first deal that was signed at 12:01 was actually Jackson State defensive lineman Antoine Owens.
Man, shout out to Antoine Owens, man. My God,
man. The man's last name is Owens.
Yeah,
man's last name is Owens. You know what I mean?
He made history being the first athlete to sign a deal.
The very first
at exactly midnight, and he had a ceremony in New York City with a company called Three Kings Grooming.
That's beautiful, man.
Black-owned hair product.
Black-owned, okay? Black-owned. Yeah. You heard him say it.
Black-owned hair product company. And his quote after he signed the contract was, "Somebody pinch me. I can't believe this."
Beautiful, man. So you see he's a football player?
He plays at Jackson State, defensive lineman at Jackson State.
A defensive lineman. Hey, shout out to all the D linemen.
Oh yeah, you already know what it is, bro. Big skills.
Yeah,
big skills, baby.
He got a full head of hair for those for those products they go provide him at Three Kings hair product company.
Hey,
so
that's what's up, man. Hey, I'm happy for dude. Man. Like, I'm happy for these dudes getting paid. Like that's huge.
Yeah, he goes down in history as the first one. He signed exactly midnight. Let's go.
That's all right.
Can't take that back, man. So that was huge.
Big thing.
Shoot, what do you think about like the De'Aaron King? So he's pretty much gonna be Mr. Miami now. I'm looking at he's getting appearances, nightclubs.
He know how to do it.
His first deal this morning. In 13 hours, he got 6 deals. So
13 hours, 6 deals.
Yeah.
So he got $20,000 from the College Hunks Moving Company to be their spokesman. I believe they were on Shark Tank, and they still selling their College Hunks Moving, and so he's going to be their spokesman.
Oh wow! Okay.
They gave him $20,000 to be their spokesman. That was his first deal.
Man.
Then he signed with a company called Murphy Auto Group in Miami, and then the Wharf in Miami restaurant signed him. Then he got a deal with Dreamfield, which is a nightclub appearances where you could come and meet and greet with De'Aaron. there's a party at a nightclub in the Miami area where he is the featured guest. So
shout out
to featured guest
on TV.
Right. And the thing is,
he's like,
go ahead.
No, he said, he was like, University of Miami prepared me for this. With great business classes, I'm ready.
I bet they did. University of Miami get a lot of heat.
Oh yeah.
So
the thing is, because I'm a Florida State fan, and for all the Florida State fans, and I rocked the hat for you last show. Miami, Florida State is kind of the rivalries, but I'm happy for the young dude. Like so I've always respected De'Aaron King. I know he's a great quarterback. I'm looking for more success for him this season. But yeah, that's huge. And then I think you brought up another person who was like a gymnast or some shit. Some followers.
So
she got some crazy type of deal.
The females are the ones who are gonna make the big money and are gonna be the big winners. So like right off the bat, Olivia Dunn, who's a gymnast out of LSU, she signed that. Now she has 5 million followers on IG and TikTok combined. So she signed. They had her at Times Square with her Instagram page behind her, and say, "Welcome to, I believe it was Boost Mobile family." and so they are estimating her deal she signed today could be worth up to $1 million.
Bruh.
In her combined
as a
deals.
college athlete.
Yeah. And
See,
so
what's the point of going to college?
She's
that's
the
what
most
I'm saying.
Yeah, she's the most followed athlete on Instagram and TikTok. So she came up. I think that's the twins out of Fresno State. I believe the Clevender twins, the basketball players. They signed a deal with Boost Mobile, so they did a whole commercial in Times Square. Welcome to the Boost Mobile family. And so they came up big, and then this is going to be a big deal for female athletes that people didn't really
know,
anticipate.
Right. And the thing is with the female athletes,
they're gonna make some real money.
The thing with the female athletes now, where it gets a little tricky, and well, not tricky, but a lot of people like, why the female athlete? So just to explain, so with the Instagram followers, you know what I mean? Them, name, image, and likeness. If they have all these followers, TikTok, if they're in they're on their platforms in these swimsuits, and that's how they attract them. You know what I mean? All these. Just a bunch of thirsty guys on their page.
5 million followers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. So people might not, these female athletes might not be the best, but what do they look like?
They get some money. No, I think they're the biggest winners.
Yeah.
I think they're the biggest winners, and they should be, because they be having followings.
Yeah, they be absolutely followers. And the thing is, I'm
a few following a few my damn self. So.
Hey, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it's good for them, so they can get exposure. And then on the male side, like I said, I mean, these guys on these college football fields and on the NBA basketball courts. I'm not NBA, but the collegiate basketball courts. All these guys, man. I mean, if you just go back through history, the Grant Hills, Michael Jordans, the Zion Williamsons. These guys. You know, I mean, these guys. And the thing is, and I'll get to it later once we touch on the topic in the show. What are you gonna do? What if Zion says, "Hey, I was a year removed. You guys made a ton of money off of me. Like, I want some of that cake too." You know what I mean? Like,
it's too late though.
But I'm just saying, maybe there's a way he can go and back pay or something.
The Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon teams, the Fab Five. I mean, even something
the way
like
JJ
Redick
guys
Duke
names
would have made a killing at Duke. Johnny Manziel.
Hold on. Let's talk about Tebow.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. Oh my God, with him, Tim Tebow, preaching and likable and all of this and that, and then the fiery and passion. So it just goes to show you, man. I mean, for the longest time, they were the mainstream media, and that's why we moved to. That's why we have the sports podcast. I mean, we're not mainstream media. These guys were pushing. These guys are not professionals. These guys are college athletes, and they're not, they're not professional athletes. They're collegiate,
social
young
media
guys.
Has made the field even. So you can have twin basketball players from Fresno State signing $1 million deals with telephone companies.
Amazing! It's beautiful, man. Like,
that's true, but that's not. I mean, that's not really even field. They're probably losing money because at this point in time, they can. I mean, colleges, universities,
colleges are losing money.
No, this doesn't affect them because they're just selling their name. Yeah. They have nothing to do with it.
The thing is, now my bone to pick with the NCAA, they ain't giving them shit. They just they're allowing them to get name, image, and likeness. This is outside NCAA. Yeah. Let's just say University of Alabama. Like, since we just had Justin Riley on, they're not gonna pay Bryce Young at University of Alabama. But if ESPN or whatever
Cameo doing a birthday wish to a fan,
if they wanna pick up Bryce Young, they can pick him up like they can pick up Dak Prescott.
Now the other rule, they can't wear any of the university clothes, anything that signifies anything of the college. So
which is fine.
Yeah, you see all the pictures there.
Which is fine. That's understandable. Yeah. So like I'm saying, this is why I'm saying that I agree with the players getting money, but I wouldn't say it's even playing field anymore. This is more so supporting the players and the athletes, which is cool too. But let's just say, we know we have this person, we have this person that want to commit to our cause for 4 years or whatever, right? He pays that 1 year. I got $1 million. Fuck that. They get that 1 year, gets money, but then they're losing out.
I mean, it's going to be involved in recruiting now too, because LSU already has a video promoting their name, image, and likeness. They got Jamal Adams as the narrator. Come to LSU to market yourself bigger than you can market yourself anywhere else. And so it's going to be big in recruiting.
It's going to be huge in recruiting because now, but also, I mean, I think. I don't really care about that now because I mean how the NCAA has handled things. There's not going to be as much parity. They were getting to that point to an extent, but when Texas A&M plays a
first game
Delaware. When Texas A&M plays a University of Delaware,
they play Kent
they're not going to have
the
same type of players.
Look at this. They play Kent State to open the season. Paid Kent $1 million to come down there and play Texas A&M. Texas A&M.
So that's the first. But that's first game. Perfect case scenario.
Kent at Texas A&M. Kent got a check for almost $2 million to go down there and get beat at Texas A&M to open the season.
But that always happens. I mean, you get teams like Stanford and you get teams like Shippensburg and all of these schools that come there for the check, and that's good. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it helps out their athletic departments and the schools.
Yeah, everything.
And mostly pays for everything. But now for these guys, like I said, I'm just happy for them because NCAA for years, even though they're still not paying them shit, but they're allowing outside resources to let these guys know their worth. You know what I mean?
Right. And then the NFL Players Association said that agents are allowed to help college athletes. They gave permission for agents to advise.
That should have been a thing that's already been. That's part of the recruitment process. I don't understand why your agent couldn't help you. That's something that's been beyond done for a while now. I don't fully understand it.
That's one of those things where if you're a college athlete and you're a major one, you already doing it, but you're doing it behind the scenes, but you can't say it. But I mean, it's good that now you don't have to run around and things like that. But my question also is, I know you guys probably saw the thing floating around social media. Reggie Bush now is saying, "I want my damn Heisman back." You know what I mean?
I've been hearing that.
Heisman? He's preaching like, "Hey, where's my Heisman now?" You know what I mean? So I forgot the tweet of what it was, but he was like, "Hey, this is interesting" or something like that.
No,
but he wants his Heisman back.
The Heisman Trust guy is not returning their calls. So his lawyer was trying to contact the head of the Heisman Trust. I think one of the assistants returned the call, and they said he will not be.
I bet one of his assistants. Keyword: one of his assistants, not him himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These guys, you know.
That's going to be a movement. And think about the pending cases. There is a case against Arizona with the coaches paying the players. No, Arizona with Arizona with Sean Miller, the basketball. Oh yeah. He just got fired because they paid for DeAndre Ayton to go to Arizona. They paid for his mom to come to, I guess,
well, go for them.
Yeah, they paid for his mom to come to Arizona.
I'm happy.
Good job, Mama Ayton. I'm about to say, yeah.
Not the money out of these. I mean, that's your son. You know what I mean? You raised him. You fed him.
So that's the thing.
That's a lot of Big Macs.
An assistant coach moved her to Arizona for a year so she could live with him. But then, who's the other one? The Miami case that never got settled, just keeps getting delayed. They might just, because they don't have a case, because they found out the investigators were bribing people to lie on the players, and so it
happens all the time. You're never gonna get in those type of situations. You're never gonna get to the real truth because somebody's getting paid off.
Yeah.
You know, it happens all the time in AAU and basketball and football. And
the Miami case has been investigated for 10 years. It's still an open investigation. So really, we don't really need the NCAA anymore. Now,
there you go. I was just about to get it. So tell me your reason why do you think we don't need the NCAA anymore?
All they do is enforce, but what's there to enforce now? Everything is it's free game now.
I was just gonna say that. I mean,
every school has unique laws, or unique. I saw like some places you're not allowed to deal with like gambling companies or strip clubs. And then there's some unique ones. For some reason, BYU is not in their standard says their players are not allowed to have commercials with companies who make coffee. And
that's BYU. BYU. I mean, I don't want to crush anybody that tends BYU, but BYU is a different beast, and they're different.
I was like, people. Coffee companies? Nobody's allowed to have a deal with a coffee company. And I was like, what coffee company? And so that was the one weird one. I mean, the other ones are natural. Like Mississippi said, no strip clubs or casinos. Some places say no nightclubs. It just depends on the area of the state. But I thought the unique one was BYU said their players could have deals, but they are prohibited from making a deal with a coffee company. Coffee companies.
I'm gonna read this quote from Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow of the former of the LSU Tigers, now Cincinnati Bengals. He said, "I'm excited. Exciting time for college athletes. Most excited for non-scholarship athletes who may have been working jobs outside of sports to make ends meet. Yeah. Free meals, sponsorship posts, signing to make their lives easier. It's long overdue." And this is coming from a guy, like I said. I mean, great guy. I love Joe Burrow. Before he got hurt,
I love Joe too. Yeah.
I knew you LSU. Yeah. Shout out to LSU, man. I mean, Joe Burrow. I mean, that's just it. Just what do you want me to say to that? Like, it's these guys are struggling to make ends meet, and all they do is form a scholarship.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody sees the the quarterbacks. So in football right now, the quarterbacks are getting deals. There was a unique one. There's a wide receiver from Arkansas, Trey Knox, who got a deal with PetSmart with him and his dog. So he has a giant dog named Blue, and so they got a commercial with him and his dog for PetSmart.
That's hard. That's hard.
So I was like, so that was unique. But most of what's been happening, the females are getting deals quick. The quarterbacks are getting deals, especially from the SEC quarterbacks. I saw where Bo Nix has an iced tea commercial.
Bo Nix.
Yeah, Miles Brennan
Matt
from LSU.
Corral. I'm looking at Matt Corral. He's charging for appearances in nightclubs and all
Miles
these other
Brennan,
things.
LSU got a commercial with Smoothie King.
Now, I want to hear your opinion on this, guys. So, all of these old ass college coaches, you know what I mean? Like the Dabo Sweeneys, I don't know if I can put Nick Saban in that category.
I'm putting Nick Saban in there.
Nick adapts. He adapts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we just had an
remember the rant he had when somebody was attacking one of his players he took back a player who had made a mistake or was drunk driving or something, and the reporter was screaming at him, "Why would you accept him and bring him back to the team?" And his answer was, "So your answer is just to throw a guy on the street and forget him? He made a mistake when he was 20 years old?" It's like, I don't care what you say. I'm not going to do that. And he went on a 5-minute with the reporters. When I was 20 years old, I made I made mistakes. And just because a guy makes a mistake when he's 20, I'm not going to throw him in.
Well, as a coach, you're always going to protect your player. But I'm thinking it's different when you're getting paid now. Because I'm reading this old article, and I had to pull it up because I felt a certain type of way when I heard him say it. I don't know if it was a year ago or a few years ago, when Dabo Sweeney, if you can remember, a few years back, when he said, "I would quit coaching if players were getting paid." So Dabo, where you going, brother? Peace. They don't need you, man. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, like college football don't need you. These players necessarily don't need you. Like you've made millions off the college of these backs of these college athletes. You said it. You said you would quit if they're getting paid now. So now what are you gonna come out and say now? I didn't mean that. I was saying if the NCAA paid them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Were you gonna say that? Like it's stuff like that these old guys they were feeling good. They were feeling themselves when they weren't getting paid. But now since they are, how are you going to adapt? You know what I mean? You can't approach these guys any type of way anymore because they're helping you feed your families. They're getting paid. Your family's been getting paid and living the luxurious lives of not having to work and do all of these different things.
The college is the key thing. They're still not paying them. They're just making money off their name,
image, and likeness. I mean,
you didn't even own your name if you played college ball, which is crazy.
Right. Exactly. So, like I said, it's name, image, and likeness still, but like I said, these old coaches, these old school, you do what I say, you're not getting paid as a scholarship, you're gonna have to adapt. You know what I mean? If you don't, you're gonna be gone because they're not gonna play for you. You're not gonna get the best recruits. You know what I mean? All these recruits are gonna be looking for different things. What can you offer me as far as pay? And if, like I said, Z, I think you brought it up before the start. If these guys were smart, they got to try to find their own type of league or organization because they don't need the NCAA anymore. Like, if you start your own developmental league, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to do it.
Think about with
who's
basketball,
holding you back now? There's nobody holding you back.
With basketball, with the G League, giving these kids the $150,000 contracts for 1 year. And so, like Jalen Green,
they've already made the trip.
Who's going to be a top 5 pick?
They ain't going to college no more.
Yeah, he went there for 1 year, got his whatever it was, $150,000 for that year he played. And the other guy, Kuminga, who's going to be another top 5 pick, he did the same thing. Instead of college, he played 1 year in the G League, took his little 1 year deal for whatever it was, 150, 160.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the thing is,
now he's going to be a millionaire being drafted.
But you know what some people are going to say? They're going to say, that's going to mess up the landscape of college sports, and these guys aren't going to get an education. But check this out. LeBron James didn't go, he didn't go to college. He didn't need to. He came straight out of high school. But everybody's going to they're going to say everybody's not LeBron James. They might
Reigning
not
rookie
be
of the
LeBron
year,
James,
LaMelo
but they're
Ball.
good. He can be
LaMelo
somebody
Ball.
else. You know what I
Think
mean?
about that.
Nobody has to be LeBron. You don't have to go to college to live a good life.
You could be
You know what I mean?
LaMelo. Think about LaMelo Ball's path. I mean, they had him playing. Where was he? In China, and then he went and played, I think, in Turkey somewhere in Eastern Europe, and then number 3 pick, rookie of the year, and his life is set.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, another interesting fact. So one of the things that I thought that caught my eye was the big winners of the female athletes. Other big winners, from my perspective, quarterbacks at all these schools are winning.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, quarterbacks are winning.
Oh, yeah. And then the skill positions are going to be next.
Yeah. And then the football is hard because everybody wears a face mask. Nobody knows them. Basketball players will get deals before
college basketball players are going to rack up.
Yeah.
Oh, the basketball players going to eat that shit alive, cuz that's going to be nothing.
So and then the different companies. So there's a company, Yoke Gaming, that is a new company. It's already signed up 10,000 college athletes today. And their whole business plan is people will pay to play video games against your favorite college athlete. And so, they signed 10,000 athletes.
I might even do it to throw some money in these guys' pockets.
And so and I mean, it's just unique. And then, of course, Cameo, which was doing stuff with entertainers and athletes where you can pay $100 to have them say happy birthday. Now they're signing up a bunch of athletes, and people are saying the unique aspect is going to be in these rivalry games. So we'll say the Ohio State-Michigan game, Ohio State wins at the end, and you scored a winning touchdown. Somebody pays $1,000 to be on Cameo with you and have a one-on-one conversation. Wow, great pass! And then thank you. They had that deal. And so when it comes to the live interaction, that's another untapped source. And of course, the traditional autographs. I mean, unbelievable. Todd Gurley was suspended the last 6 games at Georgia.
I mean, we can go back. Todd Gurley, Reggie Bush, all of these different guys.
$200 for an autograph. He took $200.
You know, and they knocking the guy. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that pisses me off. And I'm gonna bring this up before we move on to NBA. Yeah. NCAA, I'm still not done with you. I hope that players revolt and try to start their own league, man, because they really don't need you. The great ones, because they're gonna make it. You know what I mean? You're not giving them shit. But I mean, I'm looking
even now they're not giving them. These are the players going out and earning stuff in the free market. They're not giving them nothing.
Hey, check this out. I'm looking at tickets, and you can look at tickets anywhere. Ticket prices for, I'm just bringing up a random game. Clemson versus Florida State, or Clemson Tigers schedule. I mean, to get on the main level
with Georgia,
bro, to get on the main level is $600. I mean, like, what do you? It's crazy, man. Like, it's just wild to me, bro. That's what I'm saying. This is a college campus. You know what I mean? Like, I can go see a professional. I can go see the Washington football team for the same amount of money, but you're saying that they're not professionals. They're kids. You know what I mean? At some point, they got to start. You know, they got to stop.
Another interesting thing, though, the other big winners are going to be the schools that don't have pro teams. So, like a team like a school like Nebraska, where there's nothing else in Nebraska, and so the Nebraska quarterback, they can get 1,000 deals in Nebraska. They don't have to compete with NBA, baseball, football, nothing. It's just Nebraska. Or, I mean, just think of places like that where there's no pro teams. I mean, SEC places.
Well, I mean, I mean, you'll get the real rural areas like the Alabamas, the Mississippis, the throwbacks. They're not, they're not urban. Like if you look at a major city, we're talking about some parts of Texas. We're talking about DC, Maryland, Virginia. We're talking about New York. We're talking about Cali. We're talking about spots like that. We're not talking about Nebraska, Alabama, Louisiana. You know, I mean, we respect all them places, but it's a different type of vibe. You know what I mean?
I was reading, there's a restaurant in Nebraska that said they will offer a deal to all University of Nebraska athletes. And
They better do something to keep these guys there.
Thinking, I don't know what kind of deal or how big of a deal, but there's nothing in Nebraska. So a state like that all you have is the university teams. Really, what else is there in the state of Nebraska to compete with them for sports marketing? And so that's the other thing. Another interesting quirk is going to be, if you think about foreign athletes who are playing here in non-traditional Olympic sports. So you can have, I was looking at, let's say, somebody who's playing racquetball at a college and is from the Netherlands. Nobody really thinks about that in this country. They go home and they're going to be signing huge deals to do commercials in their home country. Or, like we were talking about Rui for the Wizards when he was at Gonzaga, being the only Japanese basketball player. And when Gonzaga was number one in the country, I mean, just imagine the type of money Rui would have made when he was in college.
Because he's the only guy that that money could really flow to. But I mean, that's the short and skinny on that. I mean, we're probably going to talk about this a lot more in later episodes.
Yeah, of course.
But,
this is too big.
It's just a huge topic. We had to really get into it and dive into it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But let's talk about these NBA series, man. So it's so much stuff going on in this in these finals, man. These conference finals. So Atlanta and Milwaukee are playing tonight, which is Thursday night. Series tied 2-2. Giannis is out. Trae Young is out. Looks like the Bucks is giving it to him. Giving it to him early. It's still early. They can still come back. But I mean, in that series, I know it's been a while since we kind of touched on it, fellas. So what have you guys been seeing out there on the court in that series?
Injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries. Nothing but injuries. I think that Trae Young being out tonight, Giannis being out tonight, I think that Milwaukee actually prevail. I think that Milwaukee has two. I always said the Hawks was a deeper team. I do think Hawks is a deeper team. But I do think Milwaukee also have good players, but they also have experience as well. And that is what's going to possibly carry them if Trae Young doesn't come back, if Giannis doesn't come back.
Milwaukee's putting it on them early.
I bet. I didn't even have to look at them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and like I said, for everybody that watches this, they know how I feel about the Bucks. The Bucks have been a major disappointment, man, in this series. Like, they're really supposed to dominate the Hawks. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks for hanging in there, and Nate McMillan, man, because the Bucks are a way better team to me than the Atlanta Hawks. You know what I mean? Even with Trae Young, Giannis is supposed to be a 2-time MVP. Chris Middleton. I mean, you got Drew Holiday. Those guys alone. You know what I mean? No matter who you really have.
So without Giannis, they're more balanced. I mean, when Giannis is there, they rely on him. I mean, I saw a stat.
That's just an outlier. Because I mean, Trae Young is out, man. I mean, if Trae Young played tonight, they would have probably scorched the Bucks. That's just my opinion. Because he's so much of the Atlanta can't score. I mean, with Trae Young, he does that pick and roll. And if you drop back, he drops the little floater. And if you step up on, he's either going by you or he's dishing it off, or somebody's wide open. So now these guys like Gallinari and Kevin Huerter, they have to be ball handlers. They're not ball handlers. They can't dribble for shit. I mean, they're NBA players, but they're not.
If Lou Williams gets in foul trouble, they're done.
Lou Williams, and then Bogdanovich. You know what I mean? Trae Young is so ball dominant. He's on the ball all the time. He facilitates the whole. He sets up everything. You know what I mean? He's everything to that team. And I was even surprised that they won the game at home. Was it game 4?
They played a perfect game.
They played a perfect game. You said it best, man. They played a perfect game. If you're a Bucks fan, man, I mean, you gonna be happy that you're probably gonna win the series and move on. But I mean, what are you gonna if you play like that in the finals? I know you can clean up. I mean, you guys are gonna get washed. You know what I mean?
He said, "What?"
Bro, I'm telling you, like literally, like Jay, like tell me your opinion. If the series started and all these teams were healthy, the Bucks and the Hawks, who would you pick? Just on paper alone. Your honest opinion. For me, I'm taking the Bucks with no shot. You know, easy for me.
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily easy, but I am taking the Bucks on paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
Bucks on paper. Hawks is deep though. Like the Hawks is deep to me.
They are deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you got a 2-time MVP, you got Chris Middleton, who's a great guy, and then who's got Drew Holiday, who's like a step under him. I mean, you got on the Hawks, you got Trae Young, but you know who's the second best player? They got a few guys that are solid. They got the Herders, they got the power forward dude,
John
Collins and Reddish and Bogdanovich, Lou Williams. But those guys, they're all behind. To me, they're on like the level of they're slightly above Brook Lopez, who's probably like the 4th or 5th best player in the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you got Giannis, who's probably the first or second best player in the series, then you got Trae Young, who's either 1A, and then you got Middleton and Holiday in that order, and then the Hawks fall under that. So for me, I mean, I just can't believe that the Bucks are just being that disappointing in this series, man. I mean, you really supposed to watch this Atlanta team, and like I said, Atlanta's playing hard. They can even come back. But I mean, so Game 5's tonight. But how you guys feeling about the rest of this series?
I think I'm at this point, Milwaukee Bucks is beating them. Like I say, experience, but if Trae Young comes back, which I think he may be able to come back because he's kind of been playing through the injury. I would go with Atlanta if Trae Young comes back and Giannis is not back.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it'll go 7. I think if
definitely 7.
Yeah, Bucks win tonight, Hawks win at home, and Game 7 at Milwaukee.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Game 5's tonight. Game 6 will be at Atlanta. I don't know, man. I mean, if Giannis comes back in Game 6, I'm probably taking the Bucks.
See, but role players play different at home. I mean, that Atlanta crowd is raucous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a different team at home than they are on the road.
Even
without Trae, I mean, that crowd was raucous.
Well, I'm aware that they're great at home. I mean, they have great home court support and an advantage. I just think that they're just gonna be like, hey, let's get these guys out of here, man. You know what I mean? I think they went for it too. Let's get these guys out of here. Man. Let's go home and get ready for the finals. So for me, like I said, if Giannis plays in Game 6, I'm assuming the Bucks win tonight, Game 5, and then Giannis comes back Game 6. If Giannis does not come back Game 6, that's up in the air. Like, I mean, if I had to choose, I would probably take the Hawks because Trae Young will come back and Atlanta's at home, and then it will come to a Game 7. But I mean, we'll see. Let's talk about this last series, fellas. So Phoenix has got the deed out of the way. CP3 is going to the NBA Finals for the first time ever.
They were celebrating like they won it already. I mean, they had that big crowd at the airport. I was like, they already
Suns, man.
They got a parade already.
They have been trashed for a lot of people. Don't understand. The Phoenix Suns have been bottom feeders, not recently, but before. Once they had this uptick in talent and Devin Booker and all these guys, they've been a bad team. You know what I mean? They had a lot of these number 1 high draft picks and things, so they've been through the fire. And Monty Williams has done a great job. Shout out to him. So I mean, they close up the series.
James Jones, Executive of the Year.
Yep, James Jones, Executive of the Year. I mean, they did a good job. I mean, so what do you guys think? I gotta ask you guys, did y'all see the Pat Bev push on CP? What's your thoughts on that, man? I know it's a little off topic, but
that was just uncalled for, childish. I mean, it's like the bully gets beat, and all he can do is resort to. I mean, he hit him in the back.
That's what I'm saying.
He ran up with him and hit him in the back. I mean, how I mean, how much worse can you get than that? Hit somebody in
Yeah.
his back.
Yeah, CP3, he came out and dropped it off on him. You know, straight 40. He dropped it off, bro. 40 points. You know what I mean? And
But
then,
did you see Pat Bev apologize today? So.
oh yeah, I mean his agent told him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Man, of course the agent
That's a-
did.
that's an
Yeah,
agent
Pat Bev
move.
not doing. That's a cop out.
Yeah.
Emotions got the best of me. I apologize.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. His agent was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to apologize to this guy. I know you don't like him. You know what I mean? I know you. If you had to do it all over, you would probably push him again. You know what I mean? But hey, you have to apologize."
I look. Fun fact: I learned Larry Fitzgerald is part owner of the.
Oh yeah, I saw
Phoenix
that.
Suns. I was like, wait. So that's that interesting fact right there.
Yeah, I mean, so this series, like I said, LA was tough though. Playoff P, man, he came to play a little bit. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people was clowning him. You know what I mean? My man stepped up to the plate. You know, I salute Playoff P. He came up, he showed up, you know, and Reggie Jackson, boy.
Reggie
Man,
Jackson, a free agent. Kawhi Leonard, a free agent. I mean,
oh my God, Reggie Jackson, man, he gonna get paid. Reggie Jackson gonna get paid because he really solidified himself in these playoffs. I mean, with Kawhi out, is being
he might resign.
Right here.
He was emotional. I mean, did you see the press conference? He was just crying. And
he played his heart out, man. He played his heart out.
He signed a minimal deal. So after getting a max deal with Detroit and finishing out the max deal in Detroit, then he signed a 1-year minimum deal. Was all he could get with the Clippers, and then now he's gonna get another max deal.
Yeah, they took a chance on him. They took a chance on him. I always knew that Reggie Jackson wasn't bad, right? Reggie Jackson was never really bad. He was just overpaid. But I did call that John Wall and the Reggie Jackson trade. I was probably the only person offensive on the opposite end saying that, like, that's not a bad deal if you compare him to John Wall. Oh my gosh, he's nowhere near John Wall. But let's fast forward now. A few years later,
John Wall said it himself.
They got traded.
John Wall said it himself. It was like a beef.
Before John Wall got the Supermax, he was mad that his deal was 4 years, $80 million. Reggie Jackson's was 4 years, $85 million, because Reggie Jackson was later in his a couple years later when the TV deal went up. Mm-hmm. And so John Wall went on national TV. You got to scrub like Reggie Jackson, making more than me.
Yep. That started a beef. But at
that time, I mean, Reggie Jackson was a role player. He wasn't like nobody. Like John Wall was one of the top point guards in the league. John Wall has been dealt with injuries, so at that time, like I said, he was still dealing with injuries. So even when he came out of his mouth and said that, I automatically knew. And the thing about Reggie Jackson is that Reggie Jackson, I'm not gonna say he didn't have a fair shake, but I mean he came from OKC when no one had, and then he was playing with Westbrook at one point in time. It's now we're looking down the road, nobody can play Westbrook.
KD Westbrook wanted him out because he was taking too many shots.
Right? Yeah. He definitely turned to Action Jackson.
He got the big deal. So now the joke is Reggie Jackson gonna say, "I want that John Wall deal at $240 million." Now.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you can't knock John Wall though. Now John Wall is still
the worst contract.
He's hurt.
Contract.
It's a bad contract, but you cannot say. You're not in your right state of mind if you saying Reggie Jackson had a better career and is a better player than John Wall. Now, when they were healthy.
Who would you rather have right now?
Who right now?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
about right now. But I'm just saying, like overall career, when they were at their peaks, John Wall would cook Reggie Jackson. There's no point. I mean, there's like John Wall, bro, and Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson had a nice playoffs. Don't get me wrong. He stepped up to the plate. He's never been a number one or number two option.
I mean, if you compare what
John Wall hasn't been either.
Number one,
shouldn't have been.
Bro, when he was on the Wizards.
No, he shouldn't have been.
Before
he led him to the playoffs.
Before
you still giving it to him.
And as they say, number one ability is availability. And John Wall,
I'm saying now, but I know that I'm saying that now, but I'm just saying like Reggie Jackson is still a role player. He just had a nice playoffs. Like Reggie, you gonna tell me you want him on the Wizards as your number one option? You know what I mean?
He'd be number 3.
Good luck.
I would take him as the third one.
Yeah, as the third guy. You know what I mean? Like I said, but but John Wall was a number 1 and a number 2 option. When
after he got paid, he did nothing.
Oh, I know that, but he's got hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
availability is the number 1 ability.
Oh, I know that. That's the same thing with Kawhi Leonard. But I'm just saying, like, overall, without the injuries, John Wall is a way better player than Reggie.
If you look at that contract, I think they got to pay him $45 million next year, $50 million the year after that. I don't know how
it's a bad contract. I'll give you that.
I don't know how the Wizards got rid of that
contract. Bro. Horrible.
It's so
that was terrible.
But hey, to get back on track with this series, so like I said, they swept him.
I think he was the 6th highest paid player in the league last year. John Wall.
Yeah, all right, forget about that. So the Suns move on to the finals.
Forget about that.
How do you guys feel about CP? I'm happy for CP3. Man.
I think they win it.
A long road.
They're going to win it. They're going to beat.
I hope they win. I hope they win. I need for them to win, bro. I need for CP3
to handle because they are set up. They got a bunch of shooters. Ayton is playing like he's the man.
Let me ask you about Devin Booker now. Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, will you say you were the next Kobe Bryant? Bro, I ain't seen flashes of that. What is he? Some of these dudes just be talking, man. He's not that nice. He's a shooter. He's solid. He can give you a nice game. You know what I mean? He's not no Kobe Bryant. He's not no next Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy to me. I haven't seen nothing from Devin Booker. He had opportunities to show me what he was about. He's good. He's really good. You know what I mean? I understand he's got the nose thing and all of that. But you got to show me more, man. Like Stephen A. Smith said, you're the next Kobe. You know what I mean?
I mean, defense is going to be a problem. They're going to put what? Connaughton?
I
mean, think about how is Milwaukee going to match up? Because you got Chris Paul, Holiday, you got Connaughton on Booker.
I mean, I think we're all kind of saying that the Bucks are going to win this series. Now, if the Hawks win, I got the Suns by. I mean, I don't think they're going to sweep the dudes. But
I think the Suns go through the Bucks too because Giannis hobbled.
I gotta see Giannis, man. Giannis, if you are who you say you are, and all these MVP awards say you are, you will step up to the plate and show us, brother. You know what I mean? Because this is your opportunity, man. You know what I mean?
I think it was PJ Tucker. Is that reason? One of the reasons they call him the freak is because he heals fast too. It's not all
PJ Tucker's stupid.
Yeah, I was like,
PJ need to roll out. That's my guy, though. I thought PJ Tucker.
But I mean, I don't know. But that just shows you how strong he was. No structural damage. His leg was completely mangled when you saw him fall. Capella, he reached for Capella. Capella tried to grab him, and after his knee bending completely the other way, nothing, no damage. Just a straight knee.
I hope he comes back, man. I'm just hoping, like, these NBA playoffs have been riddled with injuries, man, and I just hate seeing it, man. I mean, Kawhi and AD and
it's part of the game.
Jamal Murray.
It is part of the game. Yeah, Jamal Murray. It is part of the game. I give him that. I mean, but I just hate watching stuff like this. Like the game tonight, like, okay, you know, I'd rather record the podcast. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like I want to see people get dunked on by Giannis and cooked by Trae Young. You feel me? Like, for me, I don't have an NBA team. I have an NFL team. I watch basketball for the individual play. That's just me. You know what I mean? I like individual players, you know, as far as NBA. But, hey, Suns are moving on to the finals. Bucks and Hawks tonight, and we'll see how that shakes out. Fellas, let's close out with the bets, man. I mean, what do you guys got? Like, I know you guys usually do a lot of baseball and stuff like that, and everybody already knows, like, I do not fuck with the baseball. It's like a bedtime story to me. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep on them. I don't do it with the hockey. I don't just bet my money on anything. So I give you stuff. I'm just letting you know, so it's for future reference. Once NBA's done, you're not going to hear from bets from me. You know what I mean? Because I don't bet on just anything, and I don't just watch any sport. I like football, basketball, some boxing, okay? I don't bet on hockey, baseball. I just don't like those sports, and I have a full life. I have things to do, so I can't just sit down and watch sports all goddamn day.
Dang, bro, you said me and Z don't got no lives, bro?
I can't say that, man. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I'm talking about, man.
Look.
It's true. It's true.
No, I'm just fucking with you, man. But hey, what y'all got for the people, man?
So I mean, I'm gonna go Suns for the title. I mean, even the price now, Suns to win the NBA title is at this point minus 200, which is a horrible price. So that's how much Vegas thinks Suns will beat either Milwaukee or Atlanta. So that, I mean, even on the hockey side, you know, Stanley Cup playoffs, Tampa up 2-0 right now.
Shit.
Yeah,
the Tampa Bay Lightning, right?
Lightning going for the back-to-back championships. So they're up 2-0. They're destroying Montreal. So good bets are Tampa on the puck line, basically to win by 2 goals. The money lines are too crazy. You're getting minus 350, minus 400. You're not gonna make no money. But you take it on the puck line. Both games they covered the puck line. Both games, interesting way to go. First period unders are good. If you want more bang for your buck, like they had a bet last game, no score for the first period, 0-0, which was plus 400, and it hit. It ended up 0-0 at the end of the first. At the end of the first period,
plus 400, and it hit.
Yeah, I know. 0. And here's how horrible I am. I bet that the first game, and of course it was 1-0. I lost, and then I didn't pull the trigger game 2. And game 2 it hit 0-0 at the end of the first period. I sat there was like, man. But yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, and then baseball just fade the bad teams. Although Baltimore's been on a winning streak, so they've won a couple in a row. Baltimore, they swept the Astros after the Astros destroyed them last week. So that was interesting. But from my perspective, fade the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Run line, fade the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are horrible. So
what you got, Jay?
That's a winning.
Same thing. Ride the wave with the Lightning. Bet on team totals. What I've been getting my money for. Montreal burned me yesterday for them trying to at least score over 1.5. I thought they was gonna come out here with some passion because Lightning been whooping their ass. But they did not.
Did you see that where Tampa scored the goal with 0.5 seconds left?
Yes, they are not playing.
Oh my God. 0.5 seconds left. Montreal controlled the whole period, and Tampa gets a lucky goal with less than 1 second left. Take the lead. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they don't play. Yeah, no, like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I knew were good, but God, they are good. You're talking about domination, bro. Like it's domination. You don't watch
on a non-stop party. Think about that. You had the Lightning won the Stanley Cup last year. The baseball team was in the playoffs last year. The Bucks won the Super Bowl, and now the Lightning are back in the Stanley Cup. I mean, Tampa is on a roll.
It's Tom Brady, man. It's Tom. It's this Tom Brady effect. You know what I mean? You got to step your game up when Tom comes.
Unbelievable.
You know what I mean? You should look at the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? And the hockey team was
the Bruins.
Hey,
Red Sox were rolling. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, everything goes back to football, you see. So. It's like, no, I'm just fucking with you.
Unbelievable.
But hey, I mean, that's y'all bets. I mean, for me, on the NBA side, like, there's not much. I mean, to be honest, I would have to see more to tell you.
Who's your championship winner? Who do you think will win the title?
For me, I would have to see, man. Like I said, I got to see if Giannis is coming back with vengeance. I got to see how he looks. I'm not a huge believer in the Suns, even though right now, if I had to pick, I would pick the Phoenix Suns because I think CP3 is hungry. He's not going to take this lightly. He's going to take advantage of it. Like I said, right now, if I had to choose, I would take the Suns to win the series, put money on the Suns to win the series, regardless of who they play. If the Hawks get there, man, oh my gosh, like you get on the Suns heavy. You know what I mean? Now the Bucks, I think the Bucks, they match up well with them. Ayton is a big dude. He cannot run with Giannis. If Giannis is nice and ready. And then Middleton, we'll see what he can do, and Drew and all of those, the supporting cast. But hey, it's yet to be seen. We'll see what happens. But
Phoenix's supporting cast is underrated. I mean, those guys.
They're very underrated.
Cam Johnson. I mean,
bro, what position does he play? Like he don't even look like he looked like a creative player.
I think when he was at Pitt, he was a good player, and then he was a grad transfer to Carolina. Carolina made him a better player, and then he went to the Suns, and he's an even better player than he was in college. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's getting progression every time.
Every year he's getting better. I mean, every year he's getting better.
Yeah,
I mean,
he came out to be a shooter too.
Yeah.
He's been a serviceable dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll give it to him. But hey,
he got body, he can shot, he can shoot.
When he was at Pitt, he was a good player. I thought he'd make the NBA. And then he graduated and then played 1 year at Carolina. He became a better player. I thought he would be a decent NBA player, but not like this. He's got his 3-point shot. I mean, he goes to that corner and he is money. Yeah. I mean, him and then the guy from Villanova. He's the other guy who's just money from three. And I'm just
Phoenix is looking good, man. Like I said, I mean, shout out to Monty Williams in the Phoenix and Chris Paul and getting to the championship. But hey,
they're fun to watch too. I like watching them. I mean, they're fun to bet the whole season too. So they were good money.
Yeah. Let's wrap up, fellas. So that concludes our show. You know what I mean? Like, comments, and subscribe to the channel. We will be seeing you guys next Monday. We'll be talking a lot of other action. We'll probably see exactly what happens, what shakes out in the mainstream media. Might talk some more collegiate guys getting paid. But hey, that concludes our show. Take it easy.